Hey friends, I'm Simple Cheeks and welcome back to another speed build. Happy Sunday and I hope you're all having a fantastic weekend so far. Before we get into the build, let me just say a huge thank you for all the nice comments and encouraging words that you have left on my previous speed build, which is the Sequoia family home, where I talked about my personal struggles in doing voiceovers and just speaking in English in general. It really means a lot to me that you guys are very supportive with my efforts to connect with you more by doing this kind of voiceovers, and for also my desire to overcome my fear about public speaking and the fear of judgment in terms of speaking English that is not my native language. So again, thank you guys so much for all of your support and how you've been really nice to me. It really adds up to my confidence to do better in terms of building and now for my voiceovers as well. So thank you guys again so much. Anyway, enough of that. For today's build, this is a base game nightclub for Willow Creek, which is what I am calling as the Willow Creek nightclub. And yes, I know the name is very original, but I'm not really the type of person who really thinks deeply about what to name stuff. If the name describes the build just fine, then I'm good with it. But anyway, I think this nightclub can also pass as the Blue Velvet nightclub because throughout the build, I used blue as the primary accent color. So you would see here on the exterior that I have used this blue awnings on the windows, and I just really like how it gives this kind of pop of color against the brick that I used, which is on this reddish brown tone. And I also really like how, in combination with the flower boxes, it gives this really nice contrast against the dark bricks, and it just gives this build life, if you get what I mean. But yep, by the way, this build is for my save file, which is the simple save file. If you are a new viewer to the channel, I am currently working on a save file which is going to be a base game compatible save file. So for example, worlds like Willow Creek, Oasis Springs, Newcrest, they are all going to be rebuilt using only base game. And then for other worlds, they are going to be rebuilt using base game plus the pack where the world came from. So for example, let's say Salvadorada. So that world would be rebuilt using base game plus jungle adventure. So that's that. I honestly feel quite behind from building for my save file. I think if you're not yet familiar with how I work, I am actually a very slow builder. I can only manage at a time one build per week because it really takes me a lot of time to conceptualize these builds, and including editing, recording, and doing the voiceovers. So I think it's really taking me a long time to really finish a portion of the save file. And sometimes I really just have this urge to also build something with all the packs and just have this enormous catalog that I can choose items from. So sometimes I lose the momentum and building, for example, base game builds for the save file or limited pack builds. So I hope I really could catch up so I could release an initial version of the save file. But currently, my plan is to focus on one world at a time. So, right now, what I am trying to do, if you notice, is that I've been focusing more on Willow Creek at the moment so that maybe I could release an initial version of the save file with at least one world already completed, including the households. So in this case, it might be with Willow Creek completed, but I am also considering if I should finish all the base game worlds, so that's including Oasis Springs and New Crest, but I have not decided anything yet. So maybe you guys could let me know which one do you prefer, if you'd like to have even just Willow Creek for the initial release of the save file, or would you like to have the base game worlds completed all at the same time before I release the save file? So maybe you can let me know down in the comments about what you think about that. Anyway, we're now on the interior, finishing up the floor plan. For the floor plan on the first floor, it is quite an open space. I think the only sections that I closed off, or at least partially, are first the entrance and the back door, where you can also access the only toilet on the first floor. But don't worry, guys, I also made sure to include another set of toilets upstairs so that it would be helpful during gameplay, because when I was testing the nightclub, I noticed that it gets really busy for this lot, and there were a lot of sims spawning to the nightclub. So I think it would really help the gameplay if you have a number of toilets available for the sims to use. And now this is the bar area, or at least the main bar, because I also included another bar upstairs, but it's a smaller one. But when you played on this lot, you would notice that there's only one bartender that would spawn to the lot. So the bartender would only use this one on the first floor, and the one on the second floor would always be empty. But I still pushed with using another bar on the second floor, because I thought it would be nice for gameplay if you have, for example, a sim that is practicing bartending. So maybe they could use the one upstairs to practice bartending and improve their skills, especially with the bars being a little bulky, so they don't usually fit on the home, since they are quite, or they take quite a space. But anyway, now we're working on this mini stage that I put here on this corner, where I just placed a piano and putting up this nice decorations that are like musicians. And I really like how this area downstairs came together, and all these blues that I also used, I think I changed the lighting for throughout the build, where I used this kind of very warm orange, and then I mixed it up with some blues. I really think that it really helped give this nightclub this vibe that is very cozy, and it gives this place like it's a place like where you can lounge and just chill and relax and hang out with friends. And I really like the effect that it gives throughout this build. The interior also turned out a little fancy, so I am wondering if are we able to set the outfit for the nightclub. I know you can set outfits for, let's say, restaurants from dine out, but I'm not sure if you could also do that with nightclubs or bar, because since the interior turned out a little fancy, I thought it might be best if the outfits set for this lot would be like the party outfits or even the formal outfit. But I'm not sure. I think I have to test that out. But if you know, guys, if we can do that, please let me know. I haven't played for a very long time in terms of gameplay, but I did play a little bit when Growing Together came out, because I really wanted to test out the infants and how the new family dynamic works. But anyway, here is the little bar that I talked earlier. So it's quite small, and then I also placed here on the second floor a little dance floor. It's not actually a working dance floor, but since you don't have that in the base game, but I put a stereo here on the second floor, and put a rug in front of it so that it would look like it's meant for dancing. And I wasn't really sure what else to put in this build, since we don't really have a lot of activities available for the base game. I did consider putting a game table on this area, but I figured since I built that outdoor balcony at the back of the build, I figured I'll place the game table there instead, so that it's a little cozy for the Sims to hang out on that area to do games. And I just feel like this game table doesn't fit with the interior, so I thought it would be nicer if it's located here at the back of the build. And plus, your Sims can look out. I know the Sims can't do that, but just imagine that maybe the Sims can look out the scenery and appreciate the surroundings while they play games with their friends. But anyway, we're now working on the landscape, so I kept it pretty simple. I also added this small parking space, which I know probably the Sims, if you imagine, there's no road leading up to it, but I thought it just looked nice, so I still went and placed a small parking space there. And then I am also putting this flower beds and decorations at the back, which is very uniform with the other community lots that I built for this community strip, which I really liked doing because it gives this uniformity that they all belong in this same area. So that's that. Anyway, we'll be heading to the screenshots in just a while, so I'll be wrapping up today's speed build. If you want this build, this is already up in the Sims 4 gallery. My ID is simpolcheeks, which is the same as my YouTube handle and everywhere else. You can also find it under the hashtag simpolcheeks. If you want the tray files, they are linked in the description box below. And if you have suggestions for future builds, let me know down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you all a wonderful weekend. Let's talk again on my next video. Bye!